Hi and welcome. My name is Rafaela Quintana, and today I'm going to talk about the heist of the Antwerp World National Center. I hope you like it. Antwerp World National Center is a public-private corporation officially representing the Antwerp diamond sector. It is located in the heart of Antwerp at Amberes, Belgium. The chief executive officer of AWDC is Ari Epstein. The Diamond Office facilitates the import and export of diamonds in and out of Antwerp. This is primarily done through marketing campaigns, services, conferences, trade fairs, economic missions, and various other ways. The World Diamond Center is home to all the major diamond mining companies, which discover diamonds for over 1,800 individual diamond dealers across the globe. Other groups that aid in development, protection, and processing of these diamonds include diamond banks, insurance brokers, forwarders, best polishers, and researchers. It is acknowledged as the diamond capital of the world. The bank's vault is located 2 floors underground under the Antwerp World National Center. It was protected by multiple security mechanisms. One of them is a lock with 100 of possible combinations, infrared heat detectors, seismic sensor, a Doppler radar, and a magnetic camp. Also, the Diamond Center counted with private security. On the weekend of 15 and 16 of February 2003, a 5-man team led by Leonardo Bartolo stole the Antwerp Diamond Center, stealing 123 safe boxes of the building vault, which all of them were full of metals, including diamonds. 18 months before the robbery, Leonardo rented a barely furnished office for 25,000 Belgian francs per month at the Antwerp Diamond Center. This technique was pioneered by Mr. Stan Bogislav Stanimirovic at the New York's Diamond Center many years ago prior to this robbery. This office included access to the safe deposit box located in the vault beneath the building. It also provided a tenant ID card, which offered 24 hours access. This robbery required 18 months of preparations, while Leonardo posed as an Italian diamond merchant to gain credibility. The group of perpetrators used multiple methods to overcome the security systems and left investigators confused. They monitored the Diamond Center using camera pens to take pictures of it and the vault covertly. Bartolo frequent visits under the pseudonym of being a diamond merchant caused security to become used to his presence. A small camera was hidden above the vault door by the group, which was difficult to see when the signal lights were on. This camera would observe guards opening the door and record the combination they used. The group practiced with a full-scale replica of the vault that was produced with the help from a diamond trader insider. The day before the robbery, Bartolo visited the vault, pretending to be a routine visit. While inside, he quickly sprayed a woman's hairspray on the thermal motion sensors, so the oil of it will create a layer of this product that will temporarily insulate the sensor from its thermal fluctuations. This sensor will only go off if it detected both heat and motion. This was just a temporary measure until they properly disabled the sensor system. During the robbery, Bartolo remained in the getaway vehicle listening to a police scanner and prepared to leave as soon as the group was done. The team wore plastic gloves, so they didn't leave fingerprints or traces of them. To avoid the large number of security cameras in the area around the bank, the King of Keys picked the lock to an abandoned office building that was next to the Diamond Center. As he shared a private garden with the Diamond Center that wasn't under video surveillance. The garden allowed access to a small balcony in the center, which the group accessed via ladder. An infrared sensor monitored the terrace, but the genius used a large homemade polyester shield to hide his thermal signature as he approached the sensor and placed the shield in front of it, preventing it from detecting the group. He then disabled an alarm on the balcony's windows. The cameras of the antechamber were covered with black plastic bags, previously placed by the group, to allow them to turn on the lights. The vault door had a magnetic lock on it that consisted of two plates. When armed, they would trigger a magnetic field, and when the door opened, the field would break, triggering an alarm. The genius overcame this by using a custom-made aluminum plate, to which he attached heavy-duty double-sided tape to one side of it. He then stuck it on the two bolts and unscrewed them. While they were locked from their proper motion, they were still side by side and generating a magnetic field. They were pivoted out of the way and taped to the antechamber wall. The King of Keys had used video footage to successfully make a duplicate of the almost impossible to duplicate foot-long vault key. However, during the robbery, he knew that guards often visited the utility room just before opening the door and decided to investigate. Inside the unlocked room, he found the vault key. He decided to steal the original key. As it would ensure the vault manufacturers did not realize the key could be duplicated, and indeed, it was not until Norton Bartoli revealed this secret that the police would know a duplicate had been created. Then, the group turned out the antechamber lights before opening the vault door to avoid tripping light sensor in the vault. After the King of Keys picked the lock to the internal gate, the monster, working in darkness, moved to the middle of the room, having practiced a number of steps in the replica. Up to the ceiling and push back a panel, locating the security system's inbound and outbound wires. An electric pulse shot along these wires, and if any sensor was tripped or broken, the security would break and trigger the alarm. To overcome this, the monster carefully stripped the wire's plastic coating and attached a piece of new wire to the exposed copper wiring, rerouting the circuit and ensuring that it was irrelevant if the sensors were tripped. These sensors were blinded with styrofoam boxes and light sensors with tape. The man worked in darkness, having memorized the layout of the vault. They would occasionally flick on the lights for a brief moment in order to position their drill over the lock boxes. The King of Keys used a hand-cracked drill to break the locks on each of the security boxes. The contents were then emptied into defuel bags. After the robbery, Norton Bartolo and his team stole security footage to conceal their identities. More than 123 out of 160 safe boxes were forced open, each of which was made of steel and copper and had both a key lock and a combination lock. At 5:30 a.m., they finished and left, returning to the office building, a process which took almost an hour due to the need of caution. Then, they put the bags in Norton Bartolo's car, which they then drove to the apartment while the men headed there on foot. Norton Bartolo and Speedy went to dispose of the plans of the robbery, which was evidence. They planned to burn them in France. Speedy was overcome with panic at the prospect of transporting incriminating evidence and insisted to Leonardo they just get rid of the evidence someplace nearby. They went to a forest so they could burn the evidence like they had planned. But Speedy suffered a panic attack and disposed of the evidence poorly, hiding it into some bushes and mud rather than burning it. When Norton Bartolo discovered what Speedy had done, he decided it would take too long to gather everything up and they needed to leave the place, thinking that nobody would find the plans. However, a local hunter, who owned the land, called the police after finding the evidence the next day, believing it to be caused by some local teenagers he had previously disputed with. When he mentioned the robberies consisted of envelopes from the Antwerp Diamond Center, the police immediately went to the scene. The evidence was enough to allow the police to identify Leonardo Norta from a security footage from a nearby grocery store, where he had purchased a sandwich, and the receipt of it was amongst the rubbish. Norta was arrested after being connected to the crime by DNA evidence from a partially eaten salami sandwich that was found near the crime scene. The group of perpetrators consisted of at least 4 members, whom Leonardo gave aliases during the interviews but refused to specify whom each alias referred to. Speedy, described as an anxious and paranoid man, he was a long-time friend of Norta, most likely the alias of Pietro Tavano. The monster, described as a tall and muscular man, he was apparently an expert lockpicker, electrician, mechanic, and driver, most likely the alias of Ferdinando Finotto. The genius, he was a specialist in alarm systems, most likely the alias of Simon. The king of keys. An old man, he was described as one of the best key forgers in the world. His true identity is unknown. Norta was found guilty of orchestrating the heist. He is considered to be the leader of a ring of Italian thieves called the Scuola di Torino, to carry out the crime. He was sentenced to 10 years in prison by the Court of Appeal of Antwerp in 2005, but had been released on a parole in 2009. In 2011, a European arrest warrant was issued against him after he was found to have violated his parole conditions. One of these conditions was that he needed to compensate the victims of the heist, which he never made any attempt at. As a consequence, he was arrested again in 2013 at the Charles de Gaulle Airport in Paris during a layover from the United States to Turin, and was made to serve the remainder of his prison sentence until 2017. Leonardo claimed in an interview with the Wired magazine that some diamond merchant hired them for the heist. He said that they actually saw £18 million worth of loot, and the robbery was a part of an insurance fraud. But due to the fact that the bank's vault itself was insurance, because the insurance company had realized the security flaws and never gave an insurance policy. There was actually very little insurance money involved, which caused doubt on his story.